Welcome into another digital edition of Daily Wager. I'm Doug Kezirian alongside Joe Fortenbaugh as well as Jordan Schultz. Fellas, we're right around the corner with games here in the bubble life. Let's start in the Eastern Conference. Atop the conference, the Bucks are sitting there -4.5 against the Celtics in the opener for each team. It was about 5.5. It's been bet down a little bit. Joe, what stands out to you in this matchup?
Let's go. Let's go. Give me the Celtics plus the points. Give me the Celtics to win this game outright. Two teams in very different situations. Milwaukee's up 6.5 on the 1 seed, or I should say 6.5 on Toronto for the 2 seed, with only 8 to play. There's no reason to push the limit. There's no reason to spend too much energy early on. It's all about preserving your top guys. Meanwhile, Boston, take a look at the situation they're in right now. They're 3 back of Toronto for the 2 seed. They're a few games up on Miami. They don't want to get stuck in that limbo spot. If you can grab the 2 seed, you can end up with a first-round matchup against Brooklyn or Orlando. That would be fantastic. If you end up in the 3 or 4 spot, you end up getting a matchup with a team like Miami, Indiana, Philadelphia. It's going to be too daunting. Throw in the fact that Eric Bledsoe may not be ready to go. He tested positive for COVID-19. Chris Middleton said he didn't touch a basketball for 2 to 3 months during the layoff. Both teams top 5 in offensive rating. Both teams top 4 in defensive rating. Very good matchup. I like the Celtics to win it outright, Doug.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and I would encourage people to shop around 5. We've talked about it before, is the most key number in NBA betting. But even that, just what you said, it's all about incentive here. Celtics, much more to play for. It looks like Kemba Walker will be healthy by game time, at least Brad Stevens suggesting is that. And I just like Stevens in the coaching matchup as well. No home court for the Bucks. We remember that in these playoffs. I think the C's are going to make a statement here. I like the extra points because I do agree with you. I think they win this game outright. Let's now head over to the Western Conference, and Kings facing the Spurs in their openers, and they're 2 of a handful of teams fighting for that 8th and final playoff spot. Remember, no LaMarcus Aldridge for San Antonio. He's out for the rest of the season. Kings laying 2.5 here, Jordan.
Yeah, I think Sacramento's the better team. Now, obviously not having Marvin Bagley is a concern, but, you think about their young talent. Bogdanovich, I talked to Harry Giles this week. He said, we might as well start winning because we're already here. And you think about De'Aaron Fox. He's been excellent. 20 points, 7 assists a night. He's really the tempo setter for the Kings. He's elite end-line to end-line. Defensively, he's very good. He's a career-high 48%. And if you look at Sacramento as a whole, they're 13-7 over the last 20. Before, they were 15-29. Fox is a big reason why, but I also think this team is finding their legs. They're very young, very talented, and even without Bagley, I think that's kind of mitigated without Aldridge. So I would take the Kings up to -3.
So let's stick with this race for the 8th seed. Everyone's chasing the Grizzlies, including Portland. They square off in their openers. Blazers now -2. And Joe, as you very well know, so the first time all season, the Blazers are at full strength. The delay in the pandemic allowed Nurkic to get healthy as well as Zach Collins.
Yeah, the play here is Portland -2. You got a veteran-laden squad going up against a team with minimal playoff experience at best, and this is essentially a playoff game. Portland's 3.5 back of Memphis for the 8th seed, but they got to worry about Sacramento and New Orleans, who are right there as well. We all know about the backcourt with Big Game Dame and C.J. McCollum, but with Nurkic coming back and Collins coming back, it allows Carmelo Anthony to move into a more comfortable position playing the 3. So you're going to have all those guys on the court together. Chemistry could be an issue, sure. So could conditioning. But the bottom line here is Lillard's not going to want to be embarrassed. He made the case for the Blazers to get into the bubble, and he's not going to want to go there and come back with his hat in his hands. He's going to want to win this thing. I'm going to lay the points with Portland.
Man, Terry Stotts, very overlooked by casual NBA fans. Jordan, I know you're going to be on the Blazers, but why?
I'm with Joseph here. And obviously, you think about Portland, the health thing is just massive because not having Collins was one thing because he was really good against Denver last season in the playoffs. But not having Nurkic was just massive, too, because his presence from a physical standpoint, he can pass. And what does Portland do best? They run pick and roll. 3rd most in the league, one of the most efficient pick and roll teams in the league. And you think about Damon, CJ. I mean, if they're able to harness Nurkic, who can give them 25 minutes a night, let's say, then all of a sudden Portland's offense goes to an entirely different stratosphere. And I think the Blazers are really going to benefit, I said the other night, from an experience standpoint, having been here before. Memphis is on track to be in the playoffs. They're also on track to be one of the most youngest playoff teams ever. So I would lead Portland here. I think they're in a great spot as a whole in the bubble, and I like them starting off on the right foot.
Yeah, some of these games will have that playoff vibe that each of you kind of alluded to. I'm actually surprised the number's not a little higher, all things considered.
Higher, yeah.
Look, as we say, all tickets cash the same. I have my eye on that Wizards-Suns game. Look, You don't have to watch it, but you might want to play it. Suns are laying 7 here, and we've talked about incentive, and that's going to be kind of a common theme throughout this bubble life. And all the guys left on the Wizards, because we know Wall's out, we know Beal's out, we know Bertans is out. So the guys that are playing hard, fighting for contracts, and they want to take advantage of these opportunities. Meanwhile, the Suns, I just don't think a guy like Booker's going to play much. Ayton as well. Suns are just too far back. I need to grab 7 points, even with this type of team with the Wizards. Joe, am I crazy?
Sorry, Doug. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit there. I really didn't think anybody was going to bet that game. Look, we're all suffering from cabin fever, but that's no reason to go insane, man. People love you. People love you. Reel it back in. Jokes aside, you know what? There's a lot of unpredictability with the bubble. There's going to be a lot of unpredictability with baseball and when football comes back as well. If you're going to take a shot, take the shot with the dogs here, man. These guys that are showing up for Washington, they're going to want to try to win this game. Once they get out on the court, they're going to compete. If anything in this spot, I'm with you. I take the points.
And they're not total hacks. We recognize some of these games, including Achimura and Bryant. So I'm expecting a big effort from the Wiz. Gentlemen, great effort as always from you. And obviously we're basically within a week from tip-off.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.